Hey, welcome back and thank you so much for joining me today. You might regret it. I'm just kidding. We're gonna have a ton of fun. This one's gonna be a little bit more flowy. So if you don't get it on the first time we're entering the posture, we're gonna be flowing, and so you'll be able to catch on by the time we're done 6 or 7. So don't sweat it. And if you have a lot of loud inner dialogue going on you that's not supportive, you do know that that's a conscious choice, right? To listen and to allow it, or to go, I don't believe that. That's not my belief. And I am capable of being healthy. I am capable of having a solid yoga practice, and I am worthy of it in the same instance. So let's start today in a wide-legged forward fold. You can take whatever back shape serves you. The rounded spine is going to be more into the lower back. Flat back is working into more of the back of the legs. And so those of you with really short hamstrings, and I see a lot of men who work in forward bending jobs, have really, really tight hamstrings. So a rounded back is maybe going to be your only option. And you could even end up looking like this. If I looked like this, I think I'd support myself with blocks just so that I could maybe drop in a little bit. And if you're back here like this, I've seen you before, and I know that you are experiencing the most stretch out of everybody in the room. So whatever that goal is of sensation, you've hit the peak. So there's nothing wrong with the shape you're taking. Sit bones go back. I typically love to have a flat back in this one, but I'm really feeling like I want to give the backs of my legs a bit of a break until they get warm. So that's my choice today for my body. Rounded back, soft neck, loosen jaw. See if you could, with every exhale, manage to get your forearms a little closer towards the earth. And this could just be happening energetically for you in your body. You can maybe feel an opening or more grace inside your body than you typically do, but the physical depth hasn't changed. And aware of any outside baggage you're bringing with you into your practice. If there's some way inside your practice that you are using it as a form of suffering or a form of punishment, what if you let that just rest off to the side today and thoroughly enjoyed being with your body? Not because you have to, but because we're eternally curious about these intelligent machines that we're living inside, these organic computers that see something, store it, and repeat it so often, despite us having consciousness. We essentially turn ourselves into robots. So what if you could let that story go right here and just be completely curious about your body, who you are underneath all those stories and inner dialogue? And soft stacking of the vertebra one by one. You can use your hands to support you. Shoulders roll up over hips. Head comes nice and high. I'm going to try, for the most part, to have my eyes closed. I love, love, love practicing with my eyes closed. So if that's something that you'd like to try, there's no right or wrong, and no one's going to grade you on your yoga practice. You're not failing anything today. And just feel the energy of a tall spine, a proud chest where the shoulders are firmly on the back body. And it feels almost like the sternum is expanding from center to make space for your large heart. And really feeling into the heart's magnetic field. And there may be some walls or barriers that you have about letting your sternum expand from the center, but trust that this moment is safe enough to do that, and just feel the sensation. Your shoulders are going to naturally drop down and back, and the heart is going to be proud. And as softly as you can, maybe just open your eyes to see the transition and then go back into your body's feeling. Bend your right knee, and the sole of your right foot is going to rest on the interior of the left leg. Left hand comes down, maybe stop at the shin, the ankle, or the bottom of your foot. It's pretty early right now, so even if you are quite flexible, I have a good, nice side bend, but I'm gonna start at my ankle. And then right hand comes up. You can follow your fingertips with your gaze if that feels nice for your neck. And then a slow, 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 lots of core engagement here. So we're not loosening through the pelvic floor. We want to pull up and in, and this immediately tightens the interior of your belly. And then hand will go over as far as it can. Don't push it, because you're going to see how just naturally, when we're more dynamic and not static flexing or stretching, that you get a lot of length just by being strong and doing your flexibility at the same time. Inhale, come up. Right hand comes outside of right hip. Press down through your fingers, lift your hips, and reach your left fingers forward, up, and back. This is a modified rock star. Sink your hips down. And as you do, back into a ballerina stretch. So fingers towards toes, nice side bend. See, already so much more space. And of course you could probably reach with your right shoulder dropping in front of you, but you want to stay as open as you can through the armpit to your ceiling. In breath through center and modified rock star. Right hand down, hips up, fingers back. And exhale back to center, side bend. In breath, modified rock star, hips lift, bringing energy into the body. Expansion, openness, and emptying out for the side bend, supporting the exhale from your body. Modified rock star. So I'm not gonna keep cueing, because in case you're moving faster or slower than me, but we'll do 4 long breaths, ending in modified rock star. And 4 long breaths to you might look like 1 or 2 of those poses, or maybe it looks like 2 of each. Hold in modified rock star once you get there. Squeeze your glutes onto your back body. And then sink your hips down. Walk your hands forward and heart reaching towards your mat. Left foot, right foot flexed. And stacking shoulders over hips, we'll switch sides. Right leg extends, left sole comes interior of right leg. Right hand somewhere down the right leg, left hand up and over. I feel already this side is way, way, way more restrictive for me. It's interesting because our left side is all about flowing, openness, femininity. Not here. Rigidity today. And then come back up, left hand outside of left hip, right fingers up, as it's like they're pulling your hips up with your right hand, and then reaching the right fingers back as your right hip points towards the sky. Glutes are really, really strong here. You want to use this opportunity to engage. And then sink your hips back down, exhaling with your side bend. Inhaling with your lift, filling both lungs. And emptying. And you can take 4 or 5 more breaths. Meeting in modified rock star. Both hips come down. Reach your, reach your hands forward and drop in flat back or a little bit of a round. Up, stacking shoulders over hips. Just a quick lean back. Reach your feet forward so your legs are straight. Angle your fingers to at each sit bone. This is pulling the chest apart and elbows reaching away from you. And then draw your forearms and elbows down. Fish pose, heart lifts, head drops back, but there's still enough engagement for the neck to be safe. Chin tucking towards your heart, strong neck. Drop your chin towards your chest, hold 2 breaths. And then coming back up, bend your knees. Boat pose, Navasana, heels forward, shins parallel with the ground if you can. Otherwise, feet stay down and you're eternally lifting your heart and lengthening your spine. There should be core engagement, Mula Bandha locked, Uddiyana Bandha locked and engaged. Ankles cross, come forward, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, lengthen your heart forward, find plank. Down dog. Plank. Down dog. Breath in, plank. Down dog. Big toes to center, right heel up. Squeeze the glute, squeeze the hamstring, and down. Left heel up, squeeze the glute, squeeze the hamstring, and down. Right heel up. Down. Left heel up. Down. Last time, right heel. Down. Left heel. Down. Lengthen forward, hold plank. Hips back, down dog. Right heel up. And big step forward, low lunge. Back knee plants down. Heart lifts, hands lift. Knee stacked right over top of ankle. And then left hip pressing in front of your left knee. See if you can drop into, from femur bone, the big bone in the top of your leg, see if you can drop it into your quad. Catch it by your quad. Half split, draw your hips back, toes up. Breath in, low lunge, fill up. Empty, half split. Breathe in, low lunge. Option to close your eyes and follow your own breath. Exhaling to bend forward. Inhaling to rise. And that's not to say that those have to be your exact breaths. If it doesn't feel good for you, don't do it. And I'm asking you to really feel into your body how many times you need this, before landing in half split. Don't forget to really sink into your front quad in your lunge and dig down through your heel in your half split. Hold in half split when you're ready. Breathing here for 8. Press forward, low lunge. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. At the same time you're drawing your crown forward, you'll be stepping down through your front foot and lifting up your back leg. Standing split. So standing split has a bind today. You're welcome to try it or to leave it. Left hand will stay right underneath left shoulder. Right hand reaches back as far as it can. At the same time, left knee's bending and your foot's coming towards your hand. Maybe you grab it, maybe you don't. If you grab the top side of your foot, you're gonna kick into your hand and draw your knee further away from your body, opening your left hip. Release the bind if you have it. Standing split, hip closes because it opens when you do the bind. And then both feet step forward, halfway lift. Strong flat back. There's nothing flaccid about your back body here. It is strong, like an arrow. And then folding. Step back plank. Down dog. In breath plank. Down dog. One more time, plank. Hold. Down dog. Big toe, big left toe goes up and reaches all the way forward, low lunge. Back knee drops. Whew. This is such a strong, strong posture. You are declaring to the world that you're taking up a lot of space. So if you feel uncomfortable in it, lifting your hands up, becoming so big, so bold, just explore that. If this feels great to you, explore that too. Remember any of the cues from the other side that sat with you that you need to take with you here. And on your exhale, half split. Hips go back, toes come up, heel digs down. All the things you need to remember, that's it. Low lunge. Half split. As slow as you need to go to remain present through every grab of your muscle body to bone as you balance your way through half split, low lunge flow. And it may not look like a balance at all. It may look like a train wreck. Just, it's not a big deal. You're in your mind. You're in your mental space. You're in the story that says, I can't do this. It's too hard. Go to the story that says it's easy. That if you concentrate, if you're here, if you're really here, you can do this. And if you don't do it today, maybe you do it tomorrow. Next practice, next day. It's coming. When you feel complete, landing in half split. Breathing for 8. Pressing forward, low lunge, back knee lifts, toes tuck under. Thinking about, I want my hip over my left ankle. Lots of strength, mind, mental, focused, engaged. Kick up, standing split. Easy peasy. Even if it wasn't. That's what we're going to tell the mind. Take a bend if you want your bind. Reach your left hand back, right hand stays down. And kicking into the palm of your hand to open your quad and your hip. Releasing the bind, half split. And how deep you can get here, this has been your opportunity to go into full splits today. Where can you go without opening your hip? So that means your big toe doesn't turn out to the side, it's looking down at your mat. And then relax both feet forward, halfway lift, fill up, and fold. Step back plank. Last plank, guys, here it is. Breathe through 3, 2, 1. Drop your knees, big toes to center, and sink your hips back, child's pose. If you want more in child's pose for your closing postures, you can take your right leg out to the side, point your toes forward, sink your hips back, half child's pose. And the big achievement inside half child's pose is when you can soften the interior of your thigh. Because if you're in it and your breath is caught, the interior of your thigh is so rigid. Changing sides, if you're in half child's pose, left leg goes out. And there's a few different variations you can do with your foot too if you want to play with this. Toes pointed forward and the outside arch connected, or heel down, toes up. That's also a pretty big stretch, but just changes the location slightly. And from child's pose, bring your hips over top of your knees once again. Walk your hands forward, melt your heart down, heart melting pose. If you want some twists, you can take left arm under right armpit. And then when you're ready, right arm under left armpit, right ear down. Coming back to center, walk your hands towards your body, sink your hips back over your heels. And I'm closing here today. You're welcome to roll onto your back body, or if you want to try seated meditation to close today, take a comfortable seat. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste.